Hi, welcome to Trick of the Week. This one's called triangles, and that might sound a bit odd, but in this one we're going to use two shapes, both of them kind of triangular looking on the fingerboard, and we're going to play 3-note chords, 3 strings, 3 fingers, and we're going to play lots of 7th chords in a pattern that's really musical and find a really simple way of using those two shapes to get us through all of these 7th chords. And what I played at the beginning was a sequence of 7th chords moving anti-clockwise round the circle of fifths. Now, don't worry if you don't know about the circle of fifths yet. It's on the screen for you to look at, and I can tell you that I played the E as a 7th chord, and then I moved anti-clockwise to A, to D, to G, to C, to F, and to B flat. That's halfway around the circle of fifths, and a lot of them are in the common keys that we play in on the ukulele. The good news is you may well already know the two shapes I'm going to teach you. Let's find them. They'll be on the wrong strings, but our finger shape will be the same. We'll find them first, then we'll move them. Play a G chord. Okay, that G chord, make sure it's a G and not a G7, is one of our finger shapes. Now play a G minor chord, and that's the other finger shape. And that's all we're going to do with our left hand, but we're going to do it on the other 3 strings. So take your G chord and move it across so that now we're on the G, C and E strings. The A string we're not going to play, and I'll show you how we're going to do that in a moment. So try it on, or pick those 3, on those 3 strings, and again change the shape to the one that looks like a G minor, but now you're on the wrong 3 strings. You might recognise that one as an F7. And that's all we're going to do. So now we need to move those shapes down the neck in a musical pattern. So I want you to take that first one that looks like a G chord, but we're on the wrong strings, and slide it up until your first and second fingers are on the 7th fret. Okay, here we are, 7th fret dot, that little G shape. Now I can avoid playing this first string by just letting my hand fall nice and flat. The side of my index finger here will probably touch that string and mute it. But there is another way. You can take your index finger and you can rest it here against that string, and you can strum with your thumb. And then that string can never sound because I'm just touching it with my index finger. There's our first shape. What we do is we slide it down 1 fret and then we change it to the minor look-alike. And that's also a 7th chord. Then we slide it down 1 more and we go back, and that's a 7th chord, and we slide it down and we flip them around again, and so is that one. Keep going, slide down, flip, slide down, flip, until we get to the 1st fret and that G chord look-alike shape, and we can't really go any further down than that. What have we just played? We've just played E7, A7, D7, G7, C7, F7 and B flat 7. Really all we're doing is playing the lowest 3 strings of a bunch of 7th chords. If I played them with all 4 strings, I'd be playing a bar chord, a 4-finger chord, a bar chord, a 4-finger chord. Now, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't learn those chords, and I'm not suggesting that you would not want to do those and do these all the time. But if you're playing a song where you need to very quickly find your way around the circle of fifths, or if you're playing along with someone else who's singing or playing a melody, you might want to keep your chords a little bit less obtrusive. You can make them smaller and more concise, and they won't get in lots of other people's way. Now, this isn't just a ukulele thing, and this isn't a cheat. Guitar players do this all the time. Banjo players do this all the time. Mandolin players do this all the time. You don't always want to be playing all 4 strings. You have to know when it's time to step back a little bit and let somebody else take the lead, but still keep your part going, just a little bit more in the background. And playing fewer strings is a great way of doing that. It also maps out the fingerboard nicely for us. So, at the 7th fret we have E7, then we move it down a fret, and what's happening is we're moving down 1 fret at a time on our G string. It's hard to spot because we're changing the shape, but the G string is at the 7th fret, now the 6th fret, now the 5th, now the 4th, now the 3rd, now the 2nd, now the 1st, one at a time. And that moving around the circle of fifths anti-clockwise is really, really common musically. So if I'm playing 5'2", well, I can start on a C chord. I don't even have to hold anything down because I'm not playing that A string, I'm muting it, so that's a C chord. Then I go up to the 7th fret for E7 with my G lookalike shape. 5'2", eyes are blue, and then follow the pattern. Oh, what those 5 feet can do, has anybody seen my... And then I break off from that pattern to go back to my C. Maybe you're playing one of those jazz tunes that has the I Got Rhythm bridge. Lots of jazz tunes have for their bridge or their B section the same chord pattern, and it's the one that happens in I Got Rhythm. So if I'm playing I got rhythm, I got music, I got my girl, who could ask for anything more? Here we go. Old man trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him at my door. And that was just E7, A7, D7, G7. And that pattern, that bridge, crops up in hundreds upon hundreds of jazz tunes. Now, of course, all of these are movable. We're proving that by moving them now, but we can move them to other places. So what if we get down to that 1st fret, to B flat 7 there, but we want to carry on going anti-clockwise? Well, what comes after B flat 7? If I keep going round anti-clockwise on my circle, I get E flat 7. Hang on. That was E7 up here at the 7th fret. So 1 fret below that, the 6th fret, E flat 7. And then I could just carry on my sequence of slide it down, swap the shape. So E flat 7, slide it down, swap the shape, A flat 7, D flat 7, G flat or F sharp 7, B7. Oh, and when I do this last one, I end up with 2, 1, 0, which is the bottom half of E7, which is where I started. I've gone all the way around the circle of fifths using this same pattern, once starting at the 7th and then starting at the 6th. Let's see if we can go all the way around the circle, starting at E7 on the 7th fret. E7, A7, D7, G7, C7, F7, B flat 7, stay on the same shape, take it up to the 6th fret, E flat 7, A flat 7, D flat 7 or C sharp 7, G flat 7 or F sharp 7, B7 and E7, and we're back at E7 where we started, only we're down there and not up here. This is a really powerful way of just whizzing around the neck using 3 strings, 3 fingers and 2 shapes. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.